Hello everybody and welcome back to Out of Body. My name is Sabrina and wow, has it been a long time since I've been on here. I know some of you guys have been wondering about me. A lot has happened, some good, some bad, but I'm okay. So in today's video, I'm gonna give you a quick update, but after that, I'm gonna go into sort of a paranormal story time. I talked a little bit about some experiences I've had at this apartment since I moved in. But as of recently, I've had some more experiences to add to that, so I just wanted to give you guys an update video, but also a paranormal story time for those of you who are here for the paranormal stuff. So basically, while I've been gone, what kind of triggered it was a couple of things that happened, one of which was actually one of my subscribers and kind of an online friend. He was pretty active on Facebook and like the paranormal Facebook groups and paranormal communities and stuff like that. He actually passed away due to COVID. I think that was back in March, I want to say, in that area. And it kind of hit me hard because I had just known him a while, just online. And he had found my channel back when I was pretty much just starting out, and he really loved it. He would always share my videos and he'd comment on my videos and things like that. And then we kind of connected on Facebook and became friends, and then he just passed away. So that kind of hit me hard. That's why I initially just kind of took a pause from YouTube just to kind of grieve over that. And then after that, I found out I was gonna lose my job. So that happened. No longer an issue. I do have a job. I ended up not losing my job. I ended up getting another job within the same company, and so I'm good now. And so yeah, there's just been a lot of changes. And then in more positive news, I am dating someone now, which is great. It's going great, and so that's been a focus of mine as well. But now I'm like, okay, I really need to get back to YouTube. I miss you guys. I miss doing this content, and I really need to get prepared for 31 days of Halloween because believe it or not, you guys, it will be here before you know it. So anyway, thank you to all of you who checked up on me and who continue to watch my videos, the ones that had already uploaded, and just anybody new who's come onto my channel as well. Thank you for coming onto my channel. I'm getting really close to 1,000 subscribers. I'm so excited. I feel like I've been waiting forever for that to happen. So anyway, to get into the paranormal story time part of this video, yes, I have had some experiences at this apartment. Now just to recap on what I talked about in a previous video, I don't even know which video it was. I think it was during 31 Days of Halloween last year. I did a paranormal story time and I talked about a couple of dreams that I had when I first moved in. Now both of those paranormal dreams were surrounding this sort of ghost boy, like this little boy ghost that either was attached to me or to this apartment or something to that effect. I haven't had a whole lot of experiences since those dreams until recently. So I want to say it was about a month or so ago, I actually had the weirdest experience, and I was completely awake and all of that. I was actually editing my band's latest music video, which I need to put that on this channel as well. I may just play it at the end of this video. If you're curious to see my band's new music video, I actually filmed it with a legit camera and all of that. I actually have a new camera that I'm set up with right now. Hopefully the autofocus is working. I was having issues with that. Anyway, side note on that. But so I was editing my band's music video, and it was late at night because I always edit late at night. The first thing that happened was one of my son's toys went off. My son's a 2-year-old, and so he has like these, little toddler toys. Well, sometimes toys do that. They just go off. Well, it went off. A toy that normally doesn't just go off on its own, because a couple of his toys are actually motion censored, and so those I usually try to turn off. But this particular one that went off was not a motion sensor one. Like, you actually have to push a button for it to go off. And so when that happened, of course I was like, okay, that's bizarre, but I just didn't think much of it, and I just kept on editing. Well, later on, I actually get up to take a break or something, and I walk towards the hallway, and I hear, from my son's room, I hear this giggling. And okay, you could be like, oh, well, that was just my son giggling. Well, it was late at night. He was already asleep. And it was not his voice. And there are some kids that live down, well, they don't live downstairs, but I think there's an older lady that lives below me, and she sometimes has her grandkids over. And so I thought, oh, okay, well, maybe it was them. But then I kind of stood there for a second in complete silence and listened for like a solid couple of minutes and nothing. And I checked on my son, fast asleep. And so I was like, okay, what was that giggle? Because I know it came from his room, and I know it wasn't his voice because I know his giggle. So that was when I started to get a little bit creeped out. So I just thought, you know what? Fine. Okay. Maybe there's a little boy ghost that lives in this apartment. I don't know. He seems to be nice, so I'm going to just let it be. So then I go back to editing, and then at some point later on, I hear a really loud boom in the kitchen. And I go into the kitchen. I'm like, what the heck? It sounded like something fell over or something. And I was like, what was that? Because it was just a really loud thud. And I walk into my kitchen and I find this bowl, like this really heavy bowl that I have, had fallen off the counter. Well, that's not like a daily thing. Like, that doesn't just happen. And it's a really heavy bowl. Like, it would have had to have been hanging off the counter to even fall. The thing about it is, what I remember earlier that day, I remember seeing the bowl on the counter, and it was at least 2 inches away from the edge. But somehow it fell off the counter. So who knows? Maybe it really just fell off. It was just kind of odd to me that all 3 of those things happened in the same night. It was almost like, okay, what is going on here? And I really wish I could remember what day it was. I don't know. You know, I would just wonder if it was like a particular day of importance somehow, you know, if it would mean anything to me. So anyway, that happened. And then today, which I was planning on filming a video anyway and talking about this, and I was kind of getting organized in my head. And okay, I'll just admit it. When I'm alone, I tend to talk to myself, especially if I'm thinking, if I'm working and I'm trying to think, I think out loud. It just helps me focus. So I was kind of thinking out loud and thinking about, okay, what do I want to talk about in my video tonight? And I was thinking like, oh, you know, I'll probably talk about those paranormal things that happened. And then I'll probably address the whole astral projection thing because I haven't posted a video about that in a while. In that moment, I was thinking out loud and I was like, well, I haven't even experienced sleep paralysis in such a long time. I haven't astral projected in such a long time. It just hasn't happened. I've tried, but it just hasn't happened. Well, I've tried a little bit. I haven't tried very hard. I tried for like a week and it didn't happen, and then I just didn't try anymore. So with that being said, my lunch break comes along and I use part of it to actually take a nap, because when I'm working from home, which I've been working from home for a while, I'm going to be working from home for like the next week, and then I'll go back to actually working on site somewhere. That's the beauty of working from home. You can just go sit on the couch and say, oh, I'm going to take a quick like 10-15 minute nap. Okay, so I do that and I get, no joke, I get the most intense sleep paralysis I've ever had. And not necessarily intense as in scary, because, you know, it was during the day, and when I was in the sleep paralysis thing, like I could see around the room and it was daylight. But so it didn't seem as scary, but it was just so intense. Like when I get sleep paralysis, I get like the vibrations and everything. It's like a big fat bee buzzing by my head, and it was just all over my body. It was just so intense. And I really tried to astral project in that moment, but I couldn't do it. And what's also weird about this is that it happened within a dream, which usually that doesn't happen to me. Usually when I get sleep paralysis, I wake up first and then I kind of start to drift off, and then I get like the sleep paralysis, or I just wake up with it. But this time I was actually within a dream, and then I got the sleep paralysis, and within the dream I was trying to leave my body and I couldn't do it. And I feel like I was kind of drifting between like being in a dream and then just being in like normal sleep paralysis where you're awake and aware. I was kind of like going back and forth. It was very bizarre. I just felt like I should talk about it on here. And during this episode, it lasted a long time too. I mean, usually sleep paralysis only lasts like maybe 15-20 seconds for me, but this lasted a good couple of minutes. Like, it felt like it lasted that long, and it kept like going away and coming back. Like, I'd be paralyzed and then I'd be able to move, and then it would come back, and then it would go away and it would come back. So it was like the longest, most intense episode I've ever had. And also during that time, at one point when I was in the dream state but still kind of like feeling the vibrations and everything, I was walking around my apartment and I could feel this presence with me. It felt like I was not alone. So that was kind of interesting. I just had this really, really burning feeling that I was not alone in this apartment. And I remember thinking in my mind too, like, man, I need to sage this place or something, you know, like I need to cleanse. I need to get whatever's here out of here. And then eventually I actually wake up. And I don't wake up completely. I'm still just kind of it was just such a deep sleep that I was just so tired. And I just kind of barely wake up, and then I kind of fall back asleep and I wake up again anyway. So that's basically what happened. Now, what makes this particularly weird is not necessarily what happened during the experience. It's the fact that I have not had any sort of sleep paralysis or any sort of bizarre dreams like that in many, many months. And the one day that I speak it out loud and I say like, oh, you know, I haven't had this happen in a long time. And then I sit down to take a nap and then it happens. Like, that was just weird to me. I was like, is that a sign? Is that like something paranormal? Is that somebody trying to say something to me? Like, what is that? So I just thought that was bizarre. I just want to talk about that on here. So that's about it. And since this video is kind of short, I'm going to go ahead and roll the clip of my band's music video at the end if you want to see it. I appreciate you guys watching this video and listening to me rant about my life and things. I'm going to try to do some more videos between now and October, but I will say it'd probably be a little bit sparse, but it doesn't mean that I'm not working on anything. I'm going to be really trying to work here for the next few months on planning videos for 31 Days of Halloween. I hope all of you guys are doing well, and thank you again for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.